Hello everyone, and welcome to the Unanswered Questions True Crime Podcast.
I have spent hours and hours investigating this.
He basically told her that people have been killed. Journalists, independent investigators, people like that disappeared. It frightened her to the bone.
There's more to the story than meets the eye.
There were rumors of torture and homicide and sexual abuse, all sorts of egregious, horrendous crimes.
He was polygraphed 3 times. Each of those 3 showed evasions.
His resumes were a skeleton of truth.
He was mad at the world, and particularly mad at the government.
The study that he commissioned had described a fictional terrorist attack.
If people have died over this, it means you're getting close to the truth.
You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to say, what the fuck?
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of my new podcast, Unanswered Questions, where every week we will endeavour to discuss a mysterious unsolved case that has many lingering unanswered questions. So I hope you enjoy, and as always, leave me some feedback on what you think about the show, and rate it as well. Now on to the show. This week we'll be talking about the Missing Fabergé eggs. Now, a Fabergé egg is a jewelled egg created by the jewellery firm House of Fabergé in Saint Petersburg, Russia. As many as 69 were created, of which 57 survive today. Virtually all were manufactured under the supervision of Peter Carl Fabergé between 1885 and 1917, the most famous of which are his 52 Imperial eggs, 46 of which survive, made for the Russian Tsars Alexander III and Nicholas II as Easter gifts for their wives and mothers. Fabergé eggs are worth millions of dollars and have become symbols of opulence. Now we're going to get into a bit of a history on the House of Fabergé and also on these eggs. The House of Fabergé was founded by Gustave Fabergé in 1842 in Saint Petersburg, Russia. The Fabergé egg was a later addition to the product line by his son, Peter Carl Fabergé. Prior to 1885, Tsar Alexander III gave his wife, and I'm going to butcher this name, Empress Maria Feodorovna, jeweled Easter eggs. For Easter in 1883, before his coronation, Alexander III and Maria Feodorovna were given eggs, one of which contained a silver dagger and 2 skulls. The egg came with messages including, and I quote, "Christ is risen, and you may crush us, but we nihilists shall rise again," end quote. Before Easter of 1885, Alexander III's brother, Grand Duke Vladimir Alexandrovich, suggested that Peter Carl Fabergé create a jewelled egg. This type of egg is believed to have been inspired by an ivory hen egg made for the Danish royal collection in the 18th century. Known as the hen egg, it has a 2.5-inch outer enamel shell and golden band around the middle. The egg opens to reveal a golden yolk within, which opened to reveal a golden hen sitting on a golden straw. Inside the hen lay a miniature diamond replica of the Imperial crown and a ruby pendant, though these 2 elements have been lost. It was given to the Tsarina on the 1st of May 1885. The egg cost 4,151 rubles. 6 weeks later, the Tsar made Fabergé the supplier to the Imperial court. Maria was so delighted by the gift that Alexander appointed Fabergé a goldsmith by special appointment to the Imperial crown and commissioned another egg the next year. After that, Peter Carl Fabergé was apparently given complete freedom to design future Imperial Easter eggs, and their designs became more elaborate. According to Fabergé family law, not even the Tsar knew what form they would take. The only requirements were that they each contain a surprise and that each be unique. Once Fabergé had approved an initial design, the work was carried out by a team of craftsmen, among them Michael Pitchkin, Henrik Wingstrom, and Eric August Collin. After Alexander III's death on the 1st of November 1894, his son Nicholas II presented a Fabergé egg to both his wife Alexandria Fedorovna and his mother, the Dowager Empress Maria Fedorovna. Records have shown that of the 50 Imperial Easter eggs, 20 were given to the former and 30 to the latter. Eggs were made each year except 1904 and 1905 during the Russo-Japanese War. The Imperial eggs enjoyed great fame. Fabergé was commissioned to make similar eggs for a few private clients, including the Duchess of Marlborough and the Rothschild family and the Yusupovs. Fabergé was also commissioned to make 12 eggs for the industrialist Alexander Kelch, though only 7 appear to have been completed. Following the revolution and the naturalization of the Fabergé workshop in Saint Petersburg by the Bolsheviks in 1918, the Fabergé family left Russia. The Fabergé trademark has since been sold several times, and several companies have retailed egg-related merchandise using the Fabergé name. From 1998 to 2009, the Victor Mayer Jewelry Company produced limited edition Fabergé eggs authorized under Unilever's license. The trademark is now owned by Fabergé Limited, which makes egg-themed jewellery. Now we're going to get into the missing Fabergé eggs, which we have first off we have the hen with sapphire pendant. The hen with sapphire pendant egg, or egg with hen and basket, is an Imperial Fabergé egg, one in a series of 52 jeweled eggs made under the supervision of Peter Carl Fabergé for the Russian Imperial family. It was created in 1886 for Alexander III of Russia, who presented it to his wife, the Empress Maria Feodorova. It is one of 6 Imperial eggs that are currently lost. And now we're going to get into the design, the surprise, and the history. The exact design of this egg is not known, as there are no known photographs or illustrations of the egg, and written descriptions of the egg sometimes conflict with one another. The present is described as a hen of gold and rose diamonds taking a sapphire egg out of a nest. In the Imperial archive, dated February 15th of 1886 through April 24th of 1886, the sapphire egg was loosely held in the hen's beak. The hen and the basket were both made of gold studded with hundreds of rose-cut diamonds. The archive of the Russian Provisional Government describes a hen as being silver on a stand of gold, though this description is probably an error since the orders for the 1886 Tsars egg specifically stated the present was to be made of gold. The surprise was not documented, and it is unlikely to be discovered as the egg's current whereabouts are unknown. The sapphire pendant egg was sent to Tsar Alexander III on April 5th of 1886 from Fabergé's workshop. The egg was presented by the Tsar of Tsaria, Maria Feodorova, on April 13th of the same year. The egg was housed in the, and I'm going to butcher this name, the Anchikov Palace until the Revolution. The last documented location of the egg is from the archive of the Provisional Government's inventory in 1922, when the egg was held in the Armory Palace of the Kremlin. It is not known whether the egg was lost or is currently in private hands. Then we have the cherub with the chariot egg. So the cherub with the chariot egg, or angel with egg and chariot, is a Tsar Imperial Fabergé egg, one of a series of 52 jeweled eggs made under the supervision of Peter Carl Fabergé for the Russian Imperial family. It was crafted and delivered in 1888 to the Tsar of Russia, Alexander III. This is one of the lost Imperial eggs, so few details are known about it. The exact design of the cherub with chariot egg is uncertain. A single photograph of the egg does exist, though it is hidden by another egg and can only be seen in a blurry reflection. There is a brief description from the Imperial records in the Russian State Historical Archives in Moscow, which describes the gift as angel pulling chariot with egg, 1,500 rubles, angel with a clock in a gold egg, 600 rubles. According to, and I'm going to butcher this name, Marina Lopato in Fabergé Imperial Jeweler 1993, this description means the clock is inside the gold egg, which is in the chariot being pulled by the angel. Fabergé's invoice carries a similar description, itemizing a cherub pulling a chariot with an egg and a cherub with a clock in a gold egg. These two descriptions are backed up by the 1917 inventory of seized imperial treasure, which reads, gold egg decorated with brilliant diamonds, a sapphire with a silver gold-plated stand in the form of a two-wheeled wagon with a puto. The surprise would have been the clock being inside the egg on the chariot, though the exact design is not known. The egg would have been presented to Maria Feodorova on April 24th of 1888 by Alexander III. The egg was kept in the, and I'm going to butcher this name, Gatchina Palace in 1891, and was one of the 40 or so eggs sent to the Armory Palace of the Kremlin in 1917 after the revolution by the Provisional Government. In 1922 it was transferred to the, and I'm going to butcher this name, Sovnokrom, after which the exact whereabouts of the egg are unknown. In the 1930s, Victor and Ahmad Hammer may have purchased the egg. A sales catalogue for Ahmad Hammer's 1934 exhibition at Lord and Taylor in New York City describes a miniature silver armor-holding wheelbarrow with Easter egg made by Fabergé court jeweler, which seems to describe the cherub with the chariot egg. Ahmad Hammer may have been unaware of the significance of this item if it was in fact the 1888 Imperial egg, since he had a habit of promoting Imperial items yet did not make an effort to promote this egg. Whether this was the 1888 egg and where it is today is unknown. Then we have, and I'm going to butcher this name, the Nicosia Fabergé egg. The Nicosia Fabergé egg, sorry if I get that name wrong, is an Imperial Fabergé egg, one of a series of 52 jeweled eggs made under the supervision of Peter Carl Fabergé for the Russian Imperial family. It was crafted and delivered to the then Tsar of Russia, Alexander III, who presented it to his wife, Maria Feodorova, on Easter's Day, 1889. The egg is one of the lost Imperial eggs, but is known to have survived the Russian Revolution and was sold by, I'm going to butcher this name, Wartsky in London in 1952. The egg was designed as a, and I don't even know what this means, ETUI containing women's toilet items. While the exact appearance of the egg is not known, it is described in the 1917 inventory of confiscated imperial treasure as being decorated with multicolored stones and brilliants, rubies, emeralds, and sapphires. The surprise in this egg was the fact that the egg was essentially an uti or necessary, which with 13 diamond-encrusted implements and toilet articles. On the 9th of April 1889, Alexander III presented the egg to his wife Maria Feodorova. It was housed at the Gatchina Palace and was taken on at least one trip to Moscow, as demonstrated by an invoice for the trip which describes the egg. After the 1917 revolution, the necessaire egg was seized along with the rest of the imperial eggs and sent to the Armory Palace of the Kremlin. During the early part of 1922, the egg was transferred to the Sovnachrom. It was last shown at Wartsky Limited, court jewelers and Fabergé specialists. It was shown at Wartsky's in 1949 as part of the first dedicated exhibition of Fabergé's works in Europe. It was later acquired and sold by the firm. In an article on the egg, Wartsky states, quote, "It was last recorded on our premises on the 19th of June 1952 when it was sold to a buyer named A Stranger for £1,250. The purchaser's anonymity was safeguarded throughout Wartsky's records and they remain unidentified." End quote. Current whereabouts are unknown. Then we have the Mauve Fabergé egg. The Mauve egg is a jeweled Easter egg made under the supervision of the Russian jeweler Peter Carl Fabergé in 1897 for Nicholas II of Russia, who presented it to his mother, the Dowager Empress Maria Feodorova, on April 18th of 1897. One of the 6 Imperial Fabergé eggs which are currently lost, Fabergé billed Nicholas II for the egg, described as a mauve enamel egg with 3 miniatures, on May 17th of 1897 for 3,250 rubles. Now we get into the surprise of the egg. The surprise is a heart-shaped photo frame that opened as a 3-leaf clover, with each leaf containing 3 miniature portraits of Nicholas II, his wife, the Empress Alexandria, I'm going to butcher this name, Feodorova, and their first child, Grand Duchess Olga Nikolaevna. Sorry if I get those names wrong. It was made of rose-cut diamonds, strawberry red, green, and white enamel, pearls, and watercolor on ivory. The surprise is now on display in the Fabergé Museum in Saint Petersburg, Russia. Then we have the Royal Danish. The Royal Danish egg, also known as the Danish Jubilee egg, is a jeweled enameled Easter egg made under the supervision of the Russian jeweler Peter Carl Fabergé in 1903 for Nicholas II of Russia, who presented the egg to his mother, the Dowager Empress Maria Feodorova, one of 6 Fabergé eggs that are currently lost. It is one of the 2 eggs whose known existence is only from a single photograph, the other being 1909's Alexander III's commemorative egg. A partially obscured photograph of the lost 1888 egg, cherub with a chariot, may also exist. The surprise for this egg is that it contains miniature portraits of Christian of Denmark and his wife Louise of Hesse-Kassel, the parents of the Dowager Empress Maria Feodorova. The egg is known for a description published in the Connoisseur magazine in June of 1934. Quote, "Miniatures of the late King of Denmark and his queen are framed as a surprise feature in the imperial egg. The outer surface is in light blue and white enamel with ornaments in gold and precious stones. On the top are the armorial bearings of the Danish royal family, and it is supported by Danish heraldic lions." End quote. One of the largest Fabergé eggs at over 9 inches or 229 millimeters in height, the egg is crowned by the symbol of Denmark's ancient Order of the Elephant. In 1903, the Dowager Empress Maria Feodorova, born in Denmark as Princess Dagmar, returned to Denmark for the 40th anniversary of her father's accession to the throne. The Royal Danish egg was thus a commemoration of this event, and at the same time to commemorate the death of Queen Louise. Nicholas II wrote to his mother in Copenhagen that he was sending you a Fabergé Easter egg present. I hope it will arrive safely. It simply opens from the top. Then we have the Alexander III commemorative Fabergé egg. This is the last missing egg. This was the egg the Alexander III commemorative egg is a jeweled enameled Easter egg made under the supervision of the Russian jeweler Peter Carl Fabergé in 1909 for Nicholas II of Russia, who presented it to his mother, the Dowager Empress Maria Fedonova. The egg commemorates Alexander III of Russia, who had died 15 years previously. The egg is one of 3 to commemorate Alexander, along with the Alexander III portraits and Alexander III Esquiterrian eggs. The surprise was a miniature gold bust of Alexander. The Alexander III commemorative egg is one of the 6 Imperial Fabergé eggs that are currently missing, and one of only 3 lost eggs of which a photographs exists, the others being the 1889 Nasir and 1903's Royal Danish. As of 2023, these eggs still remain lost to history. With that, this case remains open, but with many unanswered questions that still remain unanswered. Please rate the show and let me know what you guys think about this and the many other cases I've covered. You can follow me on all major social media platforms, YouTube, BitChute, Dailymotion. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram. Links are all down below in the description. If you have a case you'd like me to have a look at or cover, don't hesitate to send me a message. I'm your host, and this has been the Unanswered Questions podcast. Until next time, next on Unanswered Questions. The mass transit incident was a professional wrestling event that took place during an Extreme Championship Wrestling ECW house show on November 23rd of 1996 at the Wonderland Ballroom in Revere, Massachusetts.